What's going on in your lives? There's a lot going on in the news. What are your thoughts about that? Hi, Sherry. What's going on in your world?
Well, I have an issue going on around the COVID that you were just talking about.
Mhm.
You
So, have you filled in a worksheet?
have.
Okay, so let's hear what you've written on number one. Those of you new to this work, the worksheet that I mentioned is consists of 6 questions, and we look at a situation and we collect what we're thinking and believing in that situation, and we see the cause of our suffering. What we're thinking and believing is the cause of our suffering. So, Sherry, I'm assuming you filled it in, and so there's the cause of suffering in that situation, and we'll question it and see what we come out with. And in my experience, it's always freedom.
Mm.
So read number one.
I am upset with my son and his girlfriend because they're being reckless.
Okay, and the situation?
I saw on Facebook that they have a week-long trip planned in September when, the second wave is supposed to be coming.
Yeah, if we ever hit the end of this first wave.
Yeah, I'm in Canada on a small island, and on the island where we are, there's only one case.
Oh my goodness, good job. Your son and daughter-in-law, are they in the States?
No, they're right here on the island with me.
And they're taking a trip.
They're going
Okay.
to a Canadian hotspot.
Okay, Canadian hotspot. Okay. So you look at their Facebook page.
Yeah, and I see that they're planning this airplane trip, and the airplanes have just announced that they're going to pack. They're not having social distancing on the airplane anymore. So my son and his girlfriend are going to be on a packed airplane in
Yeah.
September, going to a Canadian hotspot, and they're putting out feelers for friends and relatives to pick them up, and they're planning the big hugs that they're going to have with them.
Oh, exciting, exciting, exciting. So now you close your eyes.
I'm
So
having heart
where are you when you're looking at this Facebook page? Are you where you're sitting now? Are you, okay, so imagine yourself right there in your mind's eye. You're opening that Facebook page, you're looking at it, and you have the thought they're being reckless. Okay, so they are being reckless. Is it true? Can you absolutely know that it's true that they are being restless? So all of you join in this, and don't let the word absolutely fool you. That's just to support you to go more deeply, like your mind might say, yes, good, go under that, see if you missed anything, under that, meditating, getting still. They are being reckless. Is it true? And the answer always being one word only. It's either yes or no. In that meditative state, what is shown to you, just allow it to live. Both answers are equal because we are only looking for the truth, not the world's truth, not other people's, but your own.
No,
So just feel that.
it's scary to feel that.
It is scary. The ego doesn't want to let go of it. It's dangerous, dangerous, dangerous.
I want to
Just,
protect them by knowing that they're being reckless. And then I can tell them that they're being reckless, and they can listen to their mom. And
that's how you react when you believe the thought. As a mother, it's your job to save their life, to enlighten them.
isn't
If
it?
you don't, their death is on your hands.
Yeah.
Not a little thing, this ego. It's showing you a life that isn't now. Now, this isn't about right or wrong. This is about waking up to a reality within you that you can't even imagine is there. It runs so deeply in you. It takes courage. So close your eyes again, Sherry. You've described to us, quite a bit about how you react, what happens when you believe the thought. But let's look at that third question of the 4 questions that we're working with today. How do you react? What happens emotionally, physically, when you think the thought, they are being reckless? Get in touch with your emotions. And as you become aware, as you are in touch, as you're getting in touch with those emotions, describe them to us with your eyes closed.
I'm afraid. I feel powerless.
Okay, so those aren't emotions. Those are names for emotions. Get in touch with your the physical emotions that happen, because we're looking at the effect on you when you believe the thought, they're being reckless.
There's a tightening in my chest. There's a tightening in my throat. My stomach sinks. My hands sweat. My breathing is shallow.
So keep your eyes closed and just experience how that may affect your immune system. Breath is shallow. The body's not flowing.
It affects my ability to parent properly too. It affects my ability to be present with myself and enjoy what's really happening. I can't do it.
And stay in touch with your body. The question is, how do you react? What happens when you believe the thought? These emotions, they raise blood pressure, I've heard. They affect diabetes, I hear. Blood sugar.
My muscles get tight.
Now, eyes closed, stay in this. We're meditating in that moment in time as you're looking at Facebook. How do you react? That's the question. When you believe the thought, they're being reckless. There's only one way you can believe that thought. It's the ego's job to keep you in the not now. So what movie, images of past, future do you see in your head when you go back and witness yourself in that situation looking at the Facebook page?
I see an image of trying to prevent my son from taking a trip a couple of years ago that I thought was dangerous. And I see a future of them getting sick. I see trips to the emergency room with my son when he was little because he had respiratory difficulties.
So you see those moments of a mother's terror for the life of her son in the past. And then you see the future where maybe you cannot even get to him. The hospital's full, or they won't let you in. He dies alone. We've seen that on television where people can't get to their loved ones, these things. Okay, now as you witness those images of past, future, those images of not now, as you experience the movie of not now, notice the tears. And again, your emotions, the physical. Now just stay there. I'm going to ask the last question. Notice with your eyes closed, you just looking at the Facebook entry without the thought, they are being reckless, and read the Facebook page again. Catch up with your children's joy.
We have a lot of really exciting plans. They're going to visit where my daughter-in-law is from. And they love traveling, and they've worked hard to make this happen, and they need to go.
So without all of that, just read it with that in mind. Joining, you're separate. Join these. Loving what is. Some of you out there may think it means you have to be reckless yourself just because you love your children, you love what is, it's in the moment. What is the cause of your emotions? What you were thinking and believing as you read originally the Facebook entry. What was the cause of your suffering? The dream of past, future? Or your children?
They're just doing their thing.
And the cause of your suffering as you experienced reading the Facebook entry, what was the cause of your suffering?
Thinking that I know what's best.
What if you're not even the thinker?
Believing the thought that I know it's
look at the movie. Have you ever been to a movie where it frightened you and you wanted to run out of the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this one you can't run out of, because that's the life of a believer. The only way to escape the dream is to be awake to the dream. Meaning, look at who you are without the dream. Are you okay in that situation? Other than what you're thinking and your being thought and your attachment to, yep, that's them. Yes, that's me. Yep, that's him in the hospital. Yes, that's my son in the past. Are you okay other than what you're being dreamed on?
I'm okay.
Check it out. Let's don't take it for granted. Is your breath flowing okay?
Yeah.
There's a little smile on your face. Awake. Oh, awake to the dream.
Mm-hmm. It's really hard to separate the dream from the parenting, from the children, from...
Well, that is a dream as well. What children? For all you know, they're already dead.
It's true.
Where's your suffering?
Mm-hmm.
As though people could die. They only live in you. They live in you. And in that, you have them dead, and you have them sick in the past and dead in the future, and you're missing the trip. You're separated. You can't call them and say, I read your Facebook page and I see how excited you are.
I called them and I didn't admit that I had seen the Facebook page. And I just talked about how dangerous it is to travel.
Yeah. So you become deceptive.
Yeah. Yeah.
You deceive them.
Yep. And it's for their own good.
Yeah. How good are we?
Mhm.
So they don't get to meet, she doesn't get to meet her mother-in-law, and he doesn't get to meet his mother.
Mhm.
They meet deceit. And as the ego would have it, just like you said, only for their own good.
Mhm.
Is that the best we can do? That's asleepness.
It doesn't feel good.
No. My son, one of my sons might say, Mom, I'm jumping off a cliff. Save me. And I might say, knowing me, sweetheart, you really think that's a good idea? And if he says yes and jumps, I respect that he's doing the best that he can. And if he says, Mom, what do you think? I can tell him the truth. I don't want you to jump off the cliff because I want you in my life.
But they haven't asked.
It's a very, I'm just saying if.
Yeah.
And that's the beautiful thing. They don't ask if they don't trust us.
Uh-huh.
And we teach them deceit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the difference. My sons have as far as I know, the things they bring to me because they trust me. It's amazing to be that intimate, that they would trust me at that level after, when I look at the mother that raised them, which was me, and the difference in our relationship today. For them to trust that mother, that's a leap. And I get to experience it, to my mind, always. So they are being reckless. Turn it around in that situation, reading the Facebook page.
They are not being reckless.
What's the opposite of reckless?
Safe.
Well, try it on. I like they are not being reckless, and I would meditate in that and see what shows up. That was yours. And the other, I want you all to understand, you can find the opposite word that's also turning it around. They are being mindful. What was your word?
Safe.
They are being safe. Okay, so when you consider those two, they are being safe.
Well, they have access to all the information too, and they've made their considered decision about how to conduct themselves in it. And they're adults, they can do that. They have their priorities.
They are being safe. What you know of them, like saying they have all the same information, do you look more closely? They are being safe. Where is it they're being safe? Why skim over the top when this is a meditative process? You have days to sit in this. They are being safe. You ponder that. You might even call them and say, I read your Facebook page and I wondered, how safe are you being? What plan do you have in place? I'm fascinated that you're taking the trip.
Mm-hmm.
And as your mother, I really want to know.
Mm-hmm.
And I stay informed. And if you ever need help, I'm here to support you in that. I'm here. I can do research, whatever it takes. But what plan do you have in place? You see the conversation?
Mm-hmm.
It just opens it up. It's joining. It's the opposite of fear and deception is an innocent state of mind. It's just a fearful state of mind. We mature as we sit in inquiry and begin to know ourselves. And what we're thinking and believing about our children our children are great teachers in that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know my children until I've questioned what I believe about my children. An intimate relationship wasn't even possible. I mean, in my own experience.
Maybe they're being safe. Maybe they're safe even if their journey includes having this illness and whatever consequences come that because of that.
I don't know. But to ponder it as you're doing is to open your mind. An open mind flows to love if the mind is really open. The ego, when it believes it's thought, its job is to just nail in like hammer and nails, to just like concrete, just solidify the opposite of love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not safe.
No, it's not safe. It's reckless to your health.
Reckless.
It's reckless to the relationship you have with your son and his wife.
That's not proper treasuring of my son.
No, it goes against the heart. And we would do it differently if we knew how. But, this work is how. When we turn it around, it shows us how. How. So they are being reckless. Can you find another turnaround?
I am being reckless.
Yeah.
For sure, by nailing them, solidifying them, not allowing things to flow, living out of fear.
And by not recognizing the cause of your fear. It's not your son and his trip. It's happening in your chair, in your home. And nothing terrible has happened. And it's reckless when you look at being lost in a dream that torments us, and being awake to reality of right here now. Now, that's not being reckless, because we can all see it opens up wide conversations that are sane, that do not oppose, but broaden possibilities, rather than being stuck in this small world alone. Let's look at statement 2 on the 1 to 6 questions on the Judge Your Neighbor worksheet.
I want them to avoid unnecessary travel during the pandemic.
Okay. So is that true? And all of you ponder it.
I want them to do what they do.
Okay, now that's not going to do it for you, because it may not be true yet. I don't trust my head.
Okay.
It's like we kind of justify it. You're more enlightened to number 2 because you've worked number 1. So chances are that is truer for you. You've seen a lot. So I want them to avoid unnecessary travel during the pandemic. Is it true? So you've experienced a no. You drop under that and drop under that. That is meditation. And those of you that don't know how to get still, tap Then to my friend John Kabat-Zinn, he to not understand how to meditate and get still. That meditation, if you can't just get still in, I want them to avoid unnecessary travel during the pandemic, and get still enough to just meditate in that and see what truths meet your question, then you can practice stillness. It will support this work of inquiry that we're doing today. Meditating in, I want them to avoid unnecessary travel during the pandemic. Is it true?
No.
Okay, now some of you are still a yes. I'm still a yes. We all come to our own. That's why this work is so powerful. It is yours when you're sitting in it. And I love that yours is a no, mine is a yes, because the point is, what is true for you as you sit with an open mind? So now let's go to 3. How do you react when you believe the thought? So close your eyes and witness those images, how the mind reacts when you think the thought, I want them to avoid unnecessary travel during the pandemic. We are looking for the cause of suffering. That is what we're meditating in. That is what we're inviting, recalling how you react, what happens when you believe the thought you want them to avoid unnecessary travel.
There's a constriction. My breathing is shallow. My head is confused, scrambly.
Yeah, it's a kind of panic from, on a scale from 1 to 10. It can just slide up and down the scale, just from just tiny to really taking over your physical.
Mm-hmm.
And the images, I want them to avoid unnecessary travel. We're talking about the pandemic.
Images of them in the crowded airports and crowded airplanes and crowded buses. And
yeah, so now you've left your safety. You've already seen that right here, right now, you have everything you need. You're okay. You're okay.
Mm-hmm.
But where are you? In airports and buses. And in the past with your son and his compromised health, to your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he gets the virus, but his compromised health, he's as you sit here in this given space, this given space, this, people would say, this God-given space, or this friendly universe, this given place. And the ego can say, yeah, but that's not being responsible. It doesn't matter what you think about it. You are okay without being with within the trance or without the trance, other than what you're thinking and believing, you're okay. You don't have to wake up to it. It's just that you're in a dream. You're not in the real. You're being imagined. And again, the only way I know is to wake up to reality, the difference between what is going on in your mind's eye, the not now, and the what is right now. The grace of life, the gift of life, the gift of life. And we trade it for hell. What you witness, there's a word for it. It's called hell. Torture. It's hot. It affects your body. It affects everything that we go to doctors for. And then we take pills to shut down what? The mind. But what if we didn't try to shut it down? What if we met it with understanding? With just a little 1, 2, 3, 4. I want them to avoid unnecessary travel during the pandemic. Turn it around. In this situation, I want me
to avoid unnecessary travel during the pandemic. I want me to not be.
And what is that unnecessary travel?
I'm sitting at my kitchen table right now, but I'm in a crowded airplane full of COVID-19 in my mind.
Yeah. That's unnecessary travel simply because it's not travel. It is imagination, unquestioned imagination that today, sitting with you, I see as hell. Getting sick and dead and you can't get to him. That's hell.
Yeah.
It's the last thing we want for our children, so we just put them there.
I put them there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, we don't do it on purpose. It arises to get your attention. How else can mind identify as object, as I?
And I'm believing it.
So let's say I am awake to the dream.
Okay.
No harm, no foul. I can breathe again.
Uh-huh.
I can brush my teeth without say, oh, I should do it later. Oh, this crazy dream affects everything, right down to brushing our teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Hell is hell. The war within is simply what we're looking at. And as we watch the dream, those emotions run that you're showing us so beautifully. And in that, between the emotions and the dream, we're hooked. We're caught. Yeah. Anytime you experience the emotions, just know the cause.
Believing something.
Original cause, the dream.
Mm-hmm.
So to wake up to the dream is to go, oh my God, I am such a silly goose. Ego, you got me again. It's not something bad we're doing. It is simply, oh my God. Ooh, good one. Wow, good one. I think I'll put that on paper. Yeah, No harm, no foul. This is Earth School. It's why we're here. To wake up to who and what we already are.
Dreams about the children are very good hooks.
Yes, they are. That's why we have children in our life. This Earth School is set up for, the things we worry about. Those are our teachers. The things we don't like, those are our teachers. We come to be very grateful for them. They wake us up. So I want them to avoid unnecessary travel during the pandemic. Yeah, there's two ways. I want me to avoid unnecessary travel during this pandemic. And I hope you all get as much from this. In the States, we need big teachers. We think it's just marvelous not to wear a mask. It is this wild and wonderful world where some of you might think, well, that's crazy, but if I think that's crazy, how can they do that? It's like, what am I believing? That's just as crazy.
Oh my.
Look to myself. Look to myself. What mask was I wearing? Okay, it was the mask of I know. I know what others should do.
I like to wear that one with my kids.
Yeah. But if I believed what they believed, I would not wear a mask either. I'd have no choice. I'm a dreamer. I'm being dreamed. So my job is to wake up. And when I think of that, I'm awake enough to experience compassion for them, for the people that love them, for just compassion. And I want to say it again. Why the compassion? Because if I believed what they believed, I'd be in the same place. And ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is another term for asleepness. So I live in a world, it's like I don't imagine I can wake people up. Only, and let's say it's just you and me, Sherry, it's only you can do that. I cannot. So I live in the state of don't wake the baby. And behind that is like this laughter that can't be seen, but it's running like as though you could. As though you could. And it's just, but there's one baby I do deal with, and it is this apparent infant. It's waking the baby. Anyone that cries, just that's the baby, that's the one to work with. Let's see, I want them to avoid unnecessary travel. Let's test, I don't want them to avoid.
See, I can find that in my intellect, I guess. I don't want them to avoid unnecessary travel because they're not, apparently. And so I don't want to.
Now just keep using it. And you don't know that they're not. They could change their mind. You don't want them to avoid unnecessary travel.
I think avoiding unnecessary travel is a good idea in a pandemic.
So try it on. These turnarounds, we're not exchanging one belief for another. We're just trying them on. I have one that I'm trying on. Would you like to hear it? I want them to avoid necessary travel during the pandemic. And just try it on. To them, it's when people believe their thoughts, their actions are necessary.
Yeah. To them, it feels necessary to take this trip. There's been a death in her family. They want to go. They think it's necessary.
to their minds. I don't want them to avoid necessary travel during the pandemic.
Their definition of necessary is their own.
So now, there's a compassion in that because there's an understanding within you that wasn't there before.
Mm.
That changes the conversation.
Mm.
But it doesn't mean that they won't catch the virus.
No, they might. They're setting themselves up for it.
Not a lot a mother can do. They just make those trips and keep it from us.
They have, in effect, kept it from me. I only saw it on Facebook.
Don't want to bother mom.
No, they
Don't
don't.
want to upset mom.
No.
Mom's a believer.
They're responsible for my happiness.
They are, and rightfully so, and respectfully so.
Mm.
Yeah. And I love that you're catching up with them to be as kind to you as they have been, as sensitive to you as they have been.
How do you see that?
They haven't told you.
Mm. So how am I not telling me?
They're trying to spare your feelings. They don't want you to worry. That's kind.
Oh, yeah. I hadn't looked at it that way. Yeah, I just saw them as trying to avoid my instruction or...
No, that was you toward them.
Ah. Okay.
Hey, let's look at 3.
3, they should stay home. They shouldn't go on packed airplanes. They should remember that my son has a history of respiratory trouble.
So does any of that seem true to you so far as you consider it? They should stay home. Is it true?
That's what the medical experts are urging us to do.
Okay, and I'm asking you. They should stay home. And all of you holding, we're talking about the virus pandemic. They should stay home. Is it true? Can you absolutely know that it's true? It is best for them
I can't
to
absolutely
stay home. Even if they die, can you absolutely know that it's true that they should stay home? This comes to mind, who needs God when you have your opinion?
Yeah.
I'm just usurping, this is my world and I'm the great leader and they should stay home and I'm just going to be upset until they just get it.
Mm-hmm. That's my role as mom.
Yeah, that's what a good mother does, a good father does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It takes to get them to do what's safe and best for them.
And we wonder why we have poor family relations sometimes. I want them to avoid, they should stay home. So is it true? Let's say it's yes for you. Can you absolutely know that it's true? Yep, that's what they say. That's what science says. That's, it backs it. They should stay home. And what do you think? They should stay home. Is it true? You've looked at the Facebook page. All of you find your own answers. Some of you are yes, some of you are no. They shouldn't go on packed airplane. Is it true? Your son should remember that he has a history of respiratory trouble. Is it true? What do you get if what do you get if they said, "Oh, you're right, Mom," and they cancel their trip? What do you get?
I get to,
You don't have to worry.
I get to feel like they're safe,
Yeah.
safer than they would have been. They're not exposing themselves to unnecessary danger.
And what do you get? You get to feel secure.
Yeah, I get to, yeah, so they can make my life easier for me.
Yeah. So it's just all about you.
Yeah, it's all about me.
And if they die, what do you get?
Uh,
You
yeah,
suffer.
I suffer.
Okay. So this is 100% about you.
They could spare me a lot of suffering. Mm-hmm.
If they don't go, you're happy.
Mm-hmm.
They do go, you're not happy.
Yeah.
You. And then there's you. And then there's you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just all about you. Nothing there for your son. And your ego would say, but he could die. And then what do you get? It remains all about you. That's the ego at work. And this doesn't mean you can't say, sweetheart, I saw on Facebook you have this, and if something happened to you, I just don't know how I'd manage, but I would.
Yeah, that's true. That's honest.
And I prefer you're in my life. I love you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yes, I worry. And that's for me to take care of.
Mm-hmm. I do have a preference for him being alive and healthy.
Yeah. So it's all about so you can have a happy life.
It's not about him having a happy life.
Well, the ego would tell you so, but it assumes he doesn't. He wants to take this trip.
If he places himself in harm's way.
I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know.
Mm.
How
Don't.
dependent am I on my children?
Mm. So I have to give him, he has his freedom. I have to give myself my freedom from thinking that his, that I am.
Well, I would just entertain, they should stay home because I'm better off that way. They shouldn't go pack the airplane because they could die and then that would affect my life. They should remember, my son should remember he has respiratory trouble because that way, it's closer to him not going and me feeling better. I would be so relieved if they don't go.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this isn't right or wrong. It's just about acknowledging there's not a lot there. We don't leave a lot for our children.
Mm-hmm.
We don't respect their choices. So they should stay home. Let's turn it around and see what you can give you that your children cannot give you.
Okay, I should stay home.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Stop traveling into your son's life.
Yeah, stay in my own business.
Yes.
And
3 kinds of business.
mm-hmm.
Your business is to be at peace where you are.
Yeah.
And to believe our children are responsible for our peace is there's something off there.
It's giving them responsibility for something it's inviting them into my business, which is taking them away from theirs, which isn't kind.
Mhm. So I should stay home
I should stay home.
because here it is, home in myself, not asleep to the dream of hell.
Mm-hmm. And when I'm
Hell
home,
in the future and the escape from hell in the past.
mm-hmm. And then I can take care of my breathing and my heart,
Yes.
my breathing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So notice again, if they stay home, that takes care of your breathing, etc. But we see it really doesn't in the long run.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's much better for my breathing
Yeah.
when he challenges me like this and
Mhm.
I notice what's going on and then I
Uh,
take care of it.
yeah. We give you an internal life
Yeah.
that you understand,
Huh.
as opposed to being lost in the dream, asleep in the dream, and continue to read. I shouldn't go on packed airplanes.
Shouldn't go on packed airplanes. Well, I'm not like, okay, I won't go on packed airplanes in real life or in my
Imagination.
mission.
Yeah, because your son hasn't bought a ticket for you. Just stay home.
Invite me.
You weren't invited. Stay home. Oh, that is so
I'm
good.
really going along uninvited on their trip.
And I should remember
I should remember that
my son's history.
of respiratory trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, with him, but
Well, just remember, he knows that story. He's heard that story.
yeah,
He knows it. It's not as though he's going to forget. How many times has it been brought up in his lifetime?
oh, many times.
So he remembers.
And he's doing what he feels is best with that.
Yeah, he is busy
Mhm.
in Earth School.
Yeah, yeah, he's doing his thing.
Yeah. So let's look at 4.
I need them to think it is best to be careful now. Oh.
Yeah, for me to be happy, I need them to think it is best to be careful now.
Mhm.
Because those of you new to the work, number 4 on the Judge and Neighbor worksheet is about happiness. Number 3 that we just did is about advice. So when we turn it around, we saw advice to the self. I should stay home. I shouldn't go on packed airplanes with my children in my mind's eye. I wasn't invited. I should remember my son has history of respiratory trouble. That's for me to take care of.
Yeah.
He survived.
Yes.
He has had all of these years with you.
Mm-hmm.
I should remember.
Yeah.
So 4 is about your happiness in that situation, sitting with Facebook. To be happy, I need me.
I need me to think it is best to be careful now, to be help with me. I need them to say they won't go, and I need them to feel content with staying home, and I need them to cancel the trip.
Okay, so for me to be happy internally, I need me.
To think it is best to be careful now.
Yeah, be careful now. Don't take your head into a world you weren't invited to. They haven't even told you about the trip.
No.
You're not invited. So, and to be happy, I need me to say,
They won't go.
I want, for me to be happy,
For me to be happy, I need to say I won't go.
I won't go into his business. When I notice I am, I just thank myself for sharing and come back home. It's not safe when I go there in my mind. It attacks my physical system. And rightfully so, because those emotions and the cause and effect of that are a direct temple bell that rings. Those emotions remind me to look to cause. Cause is what I'm thinking and believing, and emotions are there to wake me up.
Yeah.
To move to my head. Notice what is there. The dream. And do what you have done today. Write those thoughts on paper, and we question them and turn them around. So to be happy in that situation, reading the Facebook page, I need me
to say I won't go.
Yeah, so to come back to where you are,
And
I need me to be content.
I need me to feel content with staying home.
Yes, in yourself with all the love in your heart. And gratitude.
It's a much friendlier place.
And it's respectful.
Yes, respectful of us both.
It's respectful. Our children are on their path, and we know from experience there's not a lot we can do about it.
No.
But alienate ourselves and our relationship with them.
Yeah.
And to be happy, I need me to cancel the trip anytime I go there again. And
the trip, I get a full refund. Yeah.
To come back to this friendly universe that never stops loving us as a part of itself. We are nature itself. So we're really waking up to our true nature. Let's look at 5.
They are foolish, reckless, inconsiderate, selfish, and ignorant.
Okay. So what is the opposite of foolish? They are
wise.
The opposite of, to their minds, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know that it's true, but they're making the decision, it seems.
Yeah.
What is the opposite of reckless? They have it planned out.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a great conversation you can have with them.
Mm-hmm.
What are your plans? Knowing you are really, I can't say who they are because I haven't met them, but what is the opposite of inconsiderate?
Considerate.
Yeah.
They were considerate not to tell me because they knew it would hurt.
Yeah. Be careful with mom.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very nice.
Yes, it is. And selfish. What is the opposite of selfish?
Giving or
generous.
Yeah, open.
Open-minded.
Mm-hmm.
So ignorant.
Knowledgeable.
Wise. So ponder these. We move through these quickly, but you can sit in each one of these a week, a month.
Yeah.
And take the trip that really matters, the trip into the self. There's suffering in the world, and there's a cause for this suffering, a real cause. And the cause is what we're thinking and believing, the unquestioned mind. An unquestioned life is not worth living. That's some great mind. I was quoting that mind. So in that situation, reading the Facebook page, in the state of grace, I am foolish, and read it.
I am foolish, reckless, inconsiderate, selfish, and ignorant. Wow. Mhm. Mhm. Foolish to love the dream more than my children.
Or to be attached to it more.
Hmm. Hmm. Mm-hmm. To give it more credibility.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And to use our children to keep us safe.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Good.
considerate and selfish.
Yeah. And ignorant. We really think that if they stop, we wouldn't be just as worried about something else.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
It
Using
stops here.
using them to avoid my own work.
Yeah. Okay. And number 6, the last one.
I don't ever want to see my son and his girlfriend willingly endangering their own and others' health again.
Okay. Now this could be a recurring dream with you. And as you're dreaming it again, as you're being dreamed it again, then emotions will let you know.
Hmm.
So I am willing to.
I am willing to see my son and his girlfriend willfully endanger their own and others' health again.
And I look forward to.
I look forward to seeing them willfully endangering health.
Yeah. In my mind's eye, that's like saying, I look forward to falling asleep again
Mm-hmm.
in the hypnotic trance of what isn't real. I look forward to that because it shows me my work isn't done yet.
Mm-hmm.
Until those things can occur to me and I'm awake to that is not my son, that is not his girlfriend, that is not a real airplane, that is a dream. Until I'm awake to the dream, my work's not done. So stress and worry will let you know there is some work to do. This is personal work. No one can give it to us. It is, it's like this invitation that is out here for us. And we can question what we're believing or we can suffer. But I don't, in my life, I don't, I just haven't found another choice. So it's just me with me and you're in me. And I see you as wise, as awake, enlightened being, catching up with your beautiful self. And it's a privilege to work with you, to be here and travel with you. And thank you for being our teacher today.